Hello friends, we have presented tales of brave and strange kings before, but today, the story we are about to narrate is about a king whose actions and madness exceeded all bounds. We are talking about the third Roman Emperor, Caligula, born 12 years after the departure of Jesus, peace be upon him, from this world. His father was the famous Roman general Germanicus, while Caligula's real name was Gaius Julius Caesar, named after the illustrious Gaius Julius Caesar. Once, he traveled to Germany with his father when he was very young. The soldiers began to call him Caligula based on the occasion of those shoes, and this boy became famous by that name. His father, Germanicus, was so successful and renowned that at that time, the Roman Emperor Tiberius considered him an enemy. During the revolt in Syria, Germanicus was poisoned, and after his death, his wife, Agrippina, along with her 7 children, moved to Rome. Agrippina, due to her being the granddaughter of Augustus, was already very popular, so Tiberius Caesar decided not to marry her off again, fearing that her future husband could lay claim to the throne. Agrippina was against this and, as a result, Tiberius Caesar ordered the imprisonment of Caligula's 2 older brothers and his mother. They perished in prison, but Caligula and his 3 younger sisters were spared because they posed no threat to the emperor. Consequently, they were released. Later on, Emperor Tiberius allowed him to be taken into the care of Capri, where he was given the opportunity to work for the emperor. In the year 37 AD, after the death of Emperor Tiberius, due to his close relationship with Agrippina, Caligula came to power. Tiberius imposed heavy taxes on the people and, according to historians, celebrated the return to power by offering a sacrifice of 6,000 animals as a lavish spectacle in Rome. In return, Caligula reduced the tax burden on the people, distributed rewards, renovated ports, repaired damaged roads, and carried out various public works. Approximately 7 months after taking power, Caligula became seriously ill to the point where there was no hope left for his life. However, after remaining sick for a few days, instead of expressing gratitude and humility for his newfound lease on life, Caligula transformed into a demon. He began inflicting extremely brutal punishments on his subjects based solely on suspicion and conjecture. One day, Caligula became so enraged at his council that he threw all the council members out of a palace window, which led to their death. Afterward, Caligula replaced them with his favorite horse. Later, this horse became a devotee of a priestly cult. Due to Caligula's extravagance and misuse of wealth, the royal treasury was completely emptied in just 1 year. Now, Caligula sought to confiscate the properties and estates of the people, using trivial pretexts to execute them. On a daily basis, he sentenced 30 to 40 people to death on false charges and witnessed their executions, often with their heads on display. When this activity was underway, the public was informed that the emperor was in perfect health and busy with his leisure activities. One day, Caligula was present at the theater where prisoners were pitted against wild beasts. On that day, no prisoners were available, so Emperor Caligula ordered that some spectators from the audience be seized and thrown into the arena. The soldiers executed this order, and within moments, many people found themselves at the mercy of hungry lions. Previously, Roman emperors used to consult their Senate for decisions, but Caligula disregarded the Senate's advice and had most senators killed. Some he put in chains and forced to run races in his circus, while others were subjected to various brutal punishments. In the year 41 AD, Caligula reached such heights of insanity that he began to declare himself a god and ordered the construction of many temples in his name throughout the empire. One unfortunate decision he made was to install his own statue in the Holy Temple of Solomon, a decision that was later revoked. Caligula's notoriety was not only due to his bad temper and madness but also because of his sexual debauchery. His first wife, Julia Claudia, had only been married to him for a year when Caligula, in one of his bizarre actions, attended a wedding. He liked this bride so much that he married her himself, but just a few days later, he divorced her. Afterward, he quickly had his third and fourth marriages. This king not only had illicit relationships with his servants and officials' wives but also humiliated them openly in the royal court, mocking them about his wedding night. According to Western historians Neutrals and Kefayet, Caligula engaged in sexual relationships with all three of his sisters, showing no shame. This unfortunate person also used his sisters to procure favors from different people. During his government, in just 5 years, he turned the entire Rome into a dark abyss and military bases into centers of debauchery. The army was drowned in extravagance and debauchery, and there was no one to restrain him. Some of his courtiers, then, gathered the courage and devised a plan to assassinate him. He was stabbed with a dagger in a corridor, and his fate was sealed. After Caligula, his uncle Claudius, who had managed to escape his wrath due to his shyness, became the ruler. He was declared the Emperor of Rome. However, despite the passage of time, the 5 terrible years of Caligula's reign continue to cast a shadow on the face of humanity.